Kaiju number 8, chapter 106 is here, and I've got to say, the best thing about this chapter is how quickly Kaiju 9 caught a second-hand reversal from the master troll himself. Hoshina is just goated for life at this point. I don't think that can be debated either. Before I get ahead of myself, let's break down what happens. This is mostly a battle chapter, so it's a bit light on exposition, and it mostly covers what we fans already assumed would happen. Kafka engages Kaiju 9 using Squadron style CQC. Kaiju number 8 manages to channel the force from the ground through his legs up to the core of his body, creating a massive strike, catching 9 off guard and pushing him off of his feet for just a moment. Then we reach peak DBZ, and they both start causing several billions in property damage. Cleanup crew, damage control, or whoever is gonna be making money once this arc is finished. Once 9 gets used to seeing the attacks from Kaiju number 8, he begins to instinctively block each blow, and eventually comes to the realization that Kafka is in fact using the Squadron style, the self-same technique perfected by the late Isao Shinomiya, the very same man that Kaiju number 9 has assimilated with. After tanking a few hits, 9 manages to dig into Isao's memories and begins to download and acquire the Squadron style for himself, which he then begins to use to greater results than Kafka. One of the other great things about this chapter is how quickly it seems to breeze through the common shonen trope of hero fights villain with new technique, villain learns to counter technique and proceeds to dog walk hero for like 3 weeks straight, until hero pulls out some random new technique to turn the tide. Now let's be real, we know that Kaiju number 8 is going to go in that same direction at some point during this fight. It's a tried and true method in shonen for a reason, but I appreciated how quickly the characters had a response to this, instead of dragging this out over the course of a month or 2 of chapters. This turn of fortunes begins like any other character power-up in this arc, with our heroes getting pieced up and punched into a flashback. You see, during Kafka's time training with Hoshina to strengthen himself outside of his kaiju form, he mastered the basics of Squadron style. However, like many of us suspected, Hoshina also predicted that Kaiju number 9 would likely have complete access to the technique because of the former Director General's mind. In an effort to combat this predicament, Hoshina decided to not only train Kafka in the use of Squadron style, but also train him in the use of Hoshina style martial arts as well, combining the two techniques into something never before seen, or at least by anyone in the defense force other than the two of them, and requests that Kafka keep it a secret from everyone else, as a precaution in the event that number 9 absorbs someone closer to them. This reveal tells us 3 things. Number 1, Hoshina is the GOAT. Number 2, Hoshina is the GOAT. And number 3, in case I forgot to mention that Hoshina was the GOAT, let me remind you that Hoshina is the GOAT. Soshiro Hoshina has been shown numerous times to be the most dangerously perceptive mind and the most skilled tactician among the Japanese defense force by far. And it's not even close. Need I remind you that this is the same man who caught on to the fact that Kafka was Kaiju number 8 within only a week of him joining the force. Even in the Kaiju number 8 B-side manga, he's still on his ish over there as well. But if you haven't been keeping up with it, then I won't spoil it for you. But you should definitely go and give it a read. The combination of Squadron and Hoshina style gives Kafka access to variant techniques that only him and Hoshina currently have knowledge of. This allows Kafka to effectively shut down Kaiju 9's power creep in one chapter, once again placing them both on more equal footing for the time being. Now here's a couple of things that I want to know. Firstly, what the heck is Kaiju number 9's current fortitude level? For all of the panels that we get featuring nameless operators talking dirt on everyone they're supposed to be helping, it's crazy how they often have no confidence in any of the troops. We can't seem to get one of them to just give us 9's current fortitude level. I really want to know, because we are being led to believe by Kaiju 9's words that whatever Kafka's fortitude level is currently, he's still Kaiju 9's son at the end of the day. So just how strong is the combination of Kaiju number 2 and 9? I hope that information comes soon. I can't be the only one curious about that. And secondly, If I am theory crafting correctly, then even Kafka's variant style should get copied, then completely countered fairly soon. Let's take a look back to chapter 104 when Mina was trapped in Kaiju 9's Abyss, Reality Marble, Domain Expansion, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. We saw some of the people who he absorbed over the course of history. One of those characters in particular looked exactly like they came straight from the Hoshina family, a type of military family that we know is widely respected and known for using their family's techniques to slay countless kaiju for many generations. You can pretty much see where I'm going with this. Now, if my logic is logicking, and I'm no Scott Steiner, but if the math is mathing the way I think it is, then what's to stop Kaiju 9 from running his calculations, digging into his big book of plot, and downloading the Hoshina style, essentially throwing the ball back into Kafka's court? I'm almost expecting exactly that to happen in the near future. I just don't see a reality where 9 doesn't recognize the combination of the two styles and just uses that against Kafka too. The only counter to this theory that I could come up with is one could make the argument that the Hoshina style may have evolved enough over time that whoever 9 absorbed now has outdated knowledge of current techniques. However, for plot's sake, Matsumoto could also just hand wave something like that away if he wanted to. I don't believe Narumi sits this fight out for much longer. Heck, I don't even think Kikoru is going to miss this either. They both have unfinished business with 9, and they both made vows to take him down. So I suspect whatever 9 does next will take Kafka out of commission for a brief period that could potentially lead to Kaiju number 8 having to assume control over Kafka again in order to protect itself. In the event that something like that happened mid-fight, it would act as a type of power boost for Kafka, since when Kaiju number 8 last took full control over its own body, Kafka learned how to better utilize Kaiju number 8's power. This is in essence the same as having a Black Flash moment in Jujutsu Kaisen, where performing a Black Flash even once makes you more adept at understanding curse techniques and controlling cursed energy. So as usual, you guys can let me know what you think about everything I've said in this video. Also, you guys can let me know where you think this fight is going in the comments. Anyways, that is the end of the video. If you enjoyed this type of content, then like, comment, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you wonderful people on the next video. God bless, peace,